What most people here know, they do know that the U.S. has supported the so-called freedom fighters at that time, who were the precursors of the Taliban elements that we are suffering from right now. But I don't think people know that concomitant with that was the spreading of the Wahhabi sect. What strikes me in what you have said right now is that the Saudis are, I mean, the Saudi regime is a very peaceful regime. It is friendly to the United States. It renders a lot of services. It has an initiative for peace with Israel. So they seem to be a peaceful influence in the Middle East. But what you are telling us right now is almost the contrary, that the Saudis have spent money and resources in order to spread Wahhabism, and they're suffering from it right now. So how would you explain this kind of...
Very easy. In the field of fanatic scholars, you find two categories. The first category is the one who has two faces, who talk to the West about Islam as religion of peace and ignoring the Wahhabism. The other who have only one face, like Osama bin Laden, and frankly, doing what he believes, making all this violent jihad against the West. So the Saudis' policy have this hypocrite attitude in dealing with West. Until now, they keep the Wahhabism and they keep its teaching, and they persecute the Quranists. I am the founder of the Quranist movement in Muslim world,
which is a particular sect.
Yes. Okay. So we are persecuted, and I am here as a political asylee because of 25 years of persecution by the Saudi influence inside Egypt. So they keep their Wahhabism teaching, this so-called moderate Saudi, they keep it, and also the Muslim brothers, they have the same Wahhabi doctrine, and they keep it and they defend it and they impose it on people, and they they make the peaceful reformers like us suffering because of our peaceful reform.
Interesting. What's interesting also here, that you are talking about people with double face. They talk to the West with one face, and inside they talk to their fellow Muslims with another face. What's surprising here is that how come the West doesn't know that? I mean, it's really surprising if this is
here. We are talking about politics, not about the principles. So the politics, the interest of America, they are, and it is understood by the policymakers here. I don't know what they are doing.
What they are thinking of.
Yes, okay. But I am talking about the roots, okay, and the real interest of America, and to have America secured. It means, and I usually say that to reform the Middle East, you have to reform the foreign American policy in Middle East, beginning with having a firm stand against the Wahhabism, to reform the Wahhabism from within Islam.
So to your mind, that when you use the term, so that the viewers would be with us, when you use the term Wahhabis, this is a subsect of in Islam, and it has a great influence, according to what you say, because of the resources and money, oil money.
Yes.
And they are kind of militant and extremists.
Yes.
And these are among perhaps other sects that give a harsh interpretation of the term jihad, which is the subject of what we are talking about.
Wahhabism, as the doctrine of the Saudi first state and the Saudi third state, restored the violent jihad of Middle Age in our time, And this violent jihad based on dividing the world into two camps.
Yes.
Their camp as a camp of peace and the camp of belief, and the other camp, the camp of the West, which is the camp of war and the camp of infidels. And they believe that their mission, their religious mission, is to fight the other camp until the end of days, until the day of judgment. So this is what they believe in their jihad. And this was in the time of Middle Age, when the Muslim Empire was against the Roman Empire in that time.
The Byzantine.
Yeah, the Byzantine Empire in that time. And the struggle and the religious war was between the two.
Yes, the two empires,
the two empires.
Muslim and the...
So the Wahhabis restore the Sunni violent jihad, and they spread out to have all the Muslim one state under one caliphate and one power against the West, and wage the fight or wage the war against this other camp to the day, to the end day of this world.
To the day of judgment.
Yes.
Okay. But let us go back to the your definition, which that's why I called you a contrarian in the very beginning. Your definition of jihad as a peaceful endeavor. Would you give us just brief examples of peaceful endeavors that would be considered jihad in Islam?
Yes. Begin with what the means of Islam.
Okay.
Islam in Arabic language, come from salam, which means peace.
Peace.
And come from istislam to God, or submission to God. So Islam, in dealing with God in faith, means to submit your soul, yourself, to God, to obey God. And this is up to you. You have the unlimited freedom of speech and belief to believe in God or not to believe in God. And you are responsible for this in the day of judgment before God only. Going to Islam as peace, that this is to deal with people. You have to be peaceful. So anyone, any human being who is peaceful, he is a Muslim, regardless of his faith. Being a Buddhist, being atheist, being a Christian, being Jews, being Sunni, being Shia, being anyone, as long as peaceful, you are Muslim. This is the meaning of Islam.
I guess many people would be hearing that for the very first time, that a Buddhist or a Christian could be considered a Muslim also, just because he or she is peaceful.
Yes, sir. It is according to the Quran.
Okay.
So going to the other, the contrary side, which is infidels or kafir or mushrik or idol worshippers. So the infidels or idol worshippers have the same meaning together in faith, to set gods beside gods in faith, and in dealing with people is to transgress the limit, to fight the people, to start war, to kill the people. This is so. In dealing with people, infidels means the one who transgress, the transgressors, like Osama bin Laden. When we judge Osama bin Laden, we do not judge Osama bin Laden according to his belief, because his belief is up to him and he's responsible for this before God in the day of judgment. We judge him according to his crime, to what he is doing in killing innocent people around the world.
So basically what